Good morning to all of you. So today we are going to study about fluid management. So in this we shall be learning about what is the fluid requirement, and second is we also shall be learning about how to calculate how to calculate the drops per minute so that the child gets the required amount of IV fluids. We shall be also be learning about, suppose if the baby is breastfeeding, then how to calculate what is the remaining amount of IV fluids. Okay, so these are the things which we are going to learn. Now, all babies need maintenance amount of fluids and electrolytes to meet their daily requirement. Okay, so whether they are sick or whether they are normal babies, they require maintenance amount of fluid and electrolytes. So in some conditions what happens is the oral fluids cannot be given, or even if it is given, if the baby is breastfeeding, the baby might not be tolerating. So the only option left is we have to give IV fluids. Okay, so because the baby requires fluid and electrolytes, the only option which is remaining is we have to supplement it by IV fluids. Now after these are the learning objectives. After the completion of this class, you will be able to, first is identify babies who need IV fluids. First is we will be able to identify, because all babies do not require, which are the babies who require IV fluids. We'll study that. Second is we shall study calculation of daily fluid intake. Third is administer IV fluids with measured volume set or infusion pump, that we shall study. And we shall also study how to adjust the IV fluids with enteral feeding or as per the weight. Okay, so these are the things which we are going to study in this chapter. So these are the babies. So this was our first objective, which are the babies who require IV fluid therapy. So first is neonates. We know who is a neonate. Neonate is any baby from birth to 28 days, irrespective of gestation period. So whether it is a term baby or a preterm baby or a postterm babies, so those babies who are lethargic, or even if the mother is wanting to feed, the baby is refusing it. Okay, so those babies who are lethargic and refusing to feed, that baby requires IV therapy. Second is those babies who are having moderate to severe breathing difficulty. Third is those babies who are in shock, those babies who are having severe asphyxia, those babies who have abdominal distension and they are vomiting, either they are vomiting blood or they are vomiting bilious state vomiting. Okay, so these are the criteria of those babies who require IV fluid therapy. So our first objective is over, how to identify babies who require IV fluid therapy. Now is choice of fluids. Okay, choice of fluids. So what fluids should we give? So we have some things available. So first is we give 10% dextrose for the initial 48 hours. Okay, now I will explain why is the baby requiring dextrose and why are we not interested to give other fluids. Okay, so during fetal life what happens is glucose diffuses across the placenta by using a concentration gradient. Okay, so the glucose travels through the placenta. Okay, so what happens is, so because the glucose is traveling from the fetus to the mother through the placenta, so only 70 to 80% of plasma glucose is there as compared to mother's glucose. I think you have understood. Suppose if the mother's glucose is maybe 80 milligram per deciliter, then the babies will be suppose if it is 80, maybe by 65 or maybe 70. Okay, so 70 to 80% will be there as compared to the mother. So that is the first reason why, because the glucose from the fetus has traveled through the placenta and has gone to the mother. So you have either 70% glucose remaining in the fetus, or you have 80% of the glucose remaining in fetus. So at the birth of the baby, we know that we clamp the umbilical cord. So when we clamp the umbilical cord, the supply of glucose which was there from the mother to the baby through the blood, so that gets cut off, okay, but the insulin continues to be secreted by the baby, okay. I think your concept is clear. When we clamp the cord, we know that the baby gets everything including glucose through the blood from the mother. So as soon as we clamp the cord, the supply of glucose stops or it ceases, okay. So what you find is we have the residual fetal insulin which is active in the baby, okay. So it is the responsibility of the baby to secrete insulin independently, because insulin from the mother cannot travel through the placenta, okay. So during fetal life, one thing is there, glucose the fetus gets it from the mother, but insulin is secreted by the baby. Why? Because insulin cannot transfer from the mother to the baby through the placenta, okay. So glucose from the mother, insulin from the baby. So when we cut the umbilical cord, the supply of glucose is ceased, but the insulin which was secreted from the by the baby, by the beta cells of pancreas, that continues. So the result is there is fast decline in the level of glucose, okay. So we have studied what are the list of babies who require IV therapy. So because these babies are not being fed by the breast milk, so the blood glucose falls down very fast. So that is why we prefer 10% dextrose for the initial 48 hours rather than any other things. Why? Because there is potential chances for hypoglycemia. So we don't want hypoglycemia along with all those conditions which we have listed in the earlier slide, okay. I think the concept is now clear, okay. Next is we start with 10% of glucose in the initial 48 hours. I have given you the reason. Second is after 48 hours, if the baby is passing urine 5 to 6 times a day, we give isolate P, okay. We have different types of isolate, G, E, M. We have P also. P is used only if the baby is passing urine 5 to 6 times a day, and this is given in children after 48 hours, okay. Then what we do is we add normal saline. Normal saline is to be given at the rate of 20 ml per kg per day. So whatever is the kg weight of the baby, if it is in grams, convert into kg. We know that 1000 grams is 1 kg, okay. So depending on that formula, we have to convert the grams into kilogram and multiply it by 20. So that will give you the amount of normal saline which is to be given to the baby. And in each 100 ml, what we need to give is we need to add 1 ml of KCl, okay, because we don't want the potassium levels can be reduced in unit. So that is why we add 1 ml of KCl per 100 ml of the prepared fluid, okay. So what we do is we give this 20 ml of normal saline and remaining as 10% dextrose, or if the baby is passing urine 5 to 6 times a day, we give 20 ml of normal saline per 20 ml per kg of normal saline and remaining part of isolate P, okay. So this is how, so I think your concept is clear. We start with 10% dextrose. See after two days we see for the amount of urine. If the baby's kidneys functions are good, we give isolate P. And apart from that, we need to give two things: 20 ml per kg of body weight is normal saline, and per 100 ml of the prepared IV fluids, whether it is normal saline plus the 10% dextrose, or if it is isolate P plus normal saline, whatever is the per 100 ml, we add 1 ml of KCl. So this is the choice of fluids. Now is administration of IV fluids. You must have seen this set many times. So this is pediatric set which we use in neonatal and pediatric ward. So this is what we have to use. So this is called as micro drip. So for adults what we use is macro drip, but here for children what we use is micro drip, okay. So this you must have seen, and this is the area through which we add the fluids, and this is connected with the IV set and with the event. So before we start IV fluid, what are the things we need to check? First is the expiry date of the fluid, so that can be easily read on the label. Second is we have to seal the seal of infusion bottle or bag, whether it is intact or not. So what we do is, whatever IV fluid which we have to take, we have to shake it properly, and suppose if the bottle is leaking, either two things can take place. You will see some drops of the fluid falling in the floor, or you will find that the label is wet. So we have to be ultra sure, because we know that IV fluids are going directly into the vein, so we have to be 100% sure that no leak is there. Next is, once we shake it and see it against the light, the fluid has to be clear and free from any visible particles. So that part you have to ensure, and then you have to calculate the rate of administration. I will be teaching you how to do that, and then we have to change the IV infusion set and bag every 24 hours, or as per the hospital policy. Now, how to use this? First, for calculating, one thing to remember is, in micro drip, a micro dropper is there. Micro dropper means, I will show you in the previous slide. So this is micro dropper, okay, this one, okay, where we count the number of the drops, okay. So this is micro dropper, and you have a very fine needle inside it, through which the drops come. So the result is 1 ml is 60 drops, 60 micro drops. 1 ml is 60 micro drops. So if in this device the number of drops per minute is equal to ml of fluid per hour, okay. Suppose if you count 1 ml is 6 drops, so that means 6 ml the baby will be getting in 1 hour. I think the concept is clear. 1 ml is 60 micro drops. So we have a formula how to calculate. I will show you in this subsequent slide. So if our drops, what we can count is, we can't count the drops per minute. So whatever is the drops per minute, that is equal to ml per minute, okay. So if it is 6 ml, 6 drops per minute, that means the baby will get 6 ml per hour. So that will be 6 ml per hour. Suppose if you give 10 drops per minute, that means the baby will be getting 10 ml per hour, okay. So that is the calculation of drops per minute using a pediatric. Now we see, this is a very important volume of IV fluid to be given. So this is a very important chart, and this is what we need to remember. What is the heading? Fluid requirement of neonates, ml per kg body weight. So this much ml per kg of body weight. So body weight, this is day of life. This is from day 1 to day 7, and we have only two groups. Either the baby is less than 1500 grams, or the baby is equal or more than 1500 grams, okay. Only these two things has to be remembered, and then we need to do it, okay. So I will just read out. So in day 1, this is day 1, babies who weigh equal or more than 1500 grams, they require 60 ml. So this is ml per kg body weight. This is ml per kg of body weight. For example, if the baby's weight is for example 1700, suppose if the baby's weight is 1700, then we need to use this weight, that is 60 ml into 1.7. Why it is 1.7? Because it is 1700 grams is 1.7 kg. So what you need to do is, you multiply this into 1.7 kg. So this will give you the amount of fluids to be given on day 1. Suppose the baby's weight is 1200 grams. So the baby's requirement is 80 ml. So 80 into 1.2. I have given some examples in the subsequent slides, so this will help you to understand. So what you see from this is, see, the amount of IV fluids is increasing day by day, and by day 7 both the babies, whether the babies are less than 1500 or equal or more than 1500 grams, the final amount is 150 ml on day 7, okay. The final amount is 150 ml, and gradually increments are there. Increments means every day 15 ml increment is there, okay. So this is how the amount of fluid to be given per kg of body weight we calculate. Okay, so whenever we need to calculate, we need this table, and based on this table our whole of the calculation will depend. Now let's see, these are some example. Calculation for a 4-day neonate with birth weight of 1200 grams requiring IV fluid. Suppose if you have a baby in CHOP, it is day 4, the weight is 1200 grams. So if you see that chart, you will find it is for 1200, that is less than 1500. So in that chart on day 4, the baby's requirement is 125 ml per kg per day. So what you need to do is 125 into 1.2, so that will give you 150 ml per day. So this is the amount of fluid to be given per day. What we can count in pediatrics, I can only count in 1 minute how many drops are there. So we need to calculate what is the drop factor. For that, what we need to do is 150 ml has to be divided by 24 hours. Okay, so that will give you per hour. That will give you per hour, and we know that whatever ml per hour is given, that much drops will be there in 1 minute. Okay, suppose your answer is 6.2 ml, but I can count drops either 6 or 7. I cannot count drops 6.2, 6.3, that part I cannot do because I can count only drops. So one thing to remember is whenever your answer is in decimals, decimal means point के बाद वाला, ठीक है, 6.2, 6.3, whatever it is. So we will get answer. For example, if it is 6, we will get answer from 6.1, 6.2 like this till 6.9. So we have these variations. If your answer is 6.1, 6.2, 6.3 and 6.4, then we need to give 6 ml, that is 6 drops per minute. Suppose if your answer is 6.5, 6.6, 6.7, 6.8 and 6.9, then we need to give 7 drops. Is it clear? If your decimal is from 0.1 to 0.4, then we give the preceding number. Suppose this 6 number. Suppose if your answer is 6.5, 0.6 until 0.9, then we calculate 7 drops. So this is how we calculate the drop factor. So here, because your answer is 6.2, so what you need to give is 6 drops per minute. So that if you do that, then the baby will get 6 ml per hour. Okay. So these are the activity exercises. We will continue with each one of them. Calculate IV fluids for 1500 grams on day 4. Okay. So here is on day 4, this is the requirement 125 ml per kg per day. So your answer is 175. So once 175 divided by 24, your answer is 7.2. So what you need to give is 7 ml per minute. Okay. So next is 1007, same baby for day 3. Okay. So on day 3, 1700. So the requirement is 90 ml. So 90 into 1.7, that is 153 per day. So 153 divided by 24 will give you 6.3. So what you need to give is, because it is 6.3, we give 6 ml per minute. Okay. So it is now is 1300 grams. So requirement on day 5 is 140 ml. So 140 ml per kg per day is 140 into 1.3 will give you 182 ml per day. 182 divided by 24, you will get 7.5. Here we will give 8 drops. Instead of 7, we give 8 drops. Why? Because your answer is at 0.5. So 0.5, 0.6, 0.7 is till 0.9 is all we have to give the next number, not preceding, it is succeeding number. Okay. So here, because the answer is in 0.5, so that is why we need to give 8 drops per minute. So which will fetch the baby 8 ml per hour. Okay. Now is how to adjust the IV fluids with enteral feeding. Okay. How to adjust the IV fluids with enteral feeding. See, suppose the baby might be sick in day 1 or day 2, but gradually when the baby becomes better, the baby has to be breastfed. Okay. So depending on the hemodynamic status, we decide to start breastfeeding. Okay. So the fluid requirement remains same. We have studied 125 ml, 90 ml, 80 ml, all those things we have a chart. So fluid requirement remains the same. So one thing to remember is, suppose if your requirement is 125, if the mother is feeding 30 ml, so combined with enteral feeding is, we will not add 125 plus 30, but instead of that we have to subtract. Why? Because the requirement of fluid will remain the same as it is. So first is allow the baby to begin. I will give you examples later on, so your concept will be clear. Allow the baby to begin breastfeeding as the condition improves. Suppose if the baby cannot be breastfed, preterm babies, their sucking reflex is quite delayed. The earlier the baby is born, the delayed will be the sucking reflex. So in those babies we have to give express breastfeed, that is EBF. Okay. If the baby tolerates the feed, suppose if the baby, how to know the baby is tolerating the feed? The baby does not vomit. Okay. So that is how we know the baby is tolerating the feed. Suppose if you give 30 ml on day 1 and the baby has not vomited, then what you need to do, next day we give either 20 ml plus, that is 30 ml you have given in day 1, then what you need to do is you add 20 ml more. Okay. So your range can be 20, you start with 20 ml increment, then you can come to 30 ml. Then feed the baby every 2 hours. Okay. So whatever is the amount to be given, don't give the whole amount in one time, but it has to be divided in few ml every 2 hours, every 3 hours, depending on the condition of the baby. So you can feed every 2 hours also. So discontinue the IV fluid when the baby is receiving more than 2/3. Suppose how to calculate? Suppose the baby requires 150 ml, 2 by 3 into 150, whatever is the answer. If the baby's breast milk feeding is more than 2/3, then IV fluids need to be stopped. Okay. So we will study this with some example. So this is how you adjust the IV fluids. Okay. One 1200 gram baby on day 1. Total fluid requirement is 80 ml per kg. So this is 1.2 kg, 96 ml. Feed, what we are planning is 10 ml per kg. We start with 10 ml. Okay, 10 ml per kg. So what is the answer? 10 into 1.2 kg is 12 ml. So the feed to be given is 12 ml and the fluid requirement is 96 ml. So we have because it is day 1, so we are planning to give 6 hourly. Okay. So what we need to give is, because we are planning 6 hourly. 6 hourly means 4 times we have to give. So 12 divided by 4, that is 3. So 3 into 4 is 12 ml. I think your concept is clear. We are planning to, because it is day 1, if you are planning to give 6 hourly. 6 hourly means 6 4s are 24, that is 4 times. If it is 6 hourly, that means the baby need to be given 4 times feed. So 12 has to be divided by 6. So our answer is 3 ml 4 times a day. So in that way the baby will get 12 ml. So what is the amount of fluid to be given as IV? So 96 minus 12. Okay, 96 was the total fluid requirement. What we need to do is we subtract this 12. And what is this 12? 12 ml is the amount of breast milk which the baby is giving. So our total fluid requirement depends the same. We don't increase just because the baby is breastfeeding. What we need to do is we need to subtract the amount of breast milk from the actual fluid requirement, and whatever is the remaining, because we have started we have studied that on first 2 days we give 10% dextrose. So this we start as 10% dextrose. So we need how to we know how to calculate. So here our answer is 3.5. Okay. So 84 ml divided by this either we can have 8 hourly also, we can have 24 hours. Our answer will remain same. So 84 divided by 24 will give you 3.5 ml per hour, because it is 3.5. So that is why our drop factor is 4 drops per minute. So IV drip we give 84 ml at the rate of 4 drops per minute, and the baby will be breastfed 6 hourly 3 ml 6 hourly, so that the baby will be getting 12 ml. So total 84 plus 12 is 96 ml. Okay. Now is on day 2, how to calculate the IV fluid and breast milk for day 2. Okay. So I will stop here and continue the remaining in the next class. Okay. So our part 1 of IV fluids is over. So today we have studied how to calculate the amount of fluid which is required from the baby, how to calculate the drop factor. All these things we have studied. We have just started with how to calculate the amount of breast milk and how to calculate the remaining IV fluids to be given. Okay, so we will, in the next class we will continue with some exercises, and we will also study what is the requirement of babies after 7 days. We have given you the chart till 7 days and what is the calculation to be given after 7 days. Okay, so thank you for your patient listening.
After the laptop 7:15 को उठा दे, ठीक है।